you brought today? Tell me.
A contender.
It's main event time. And now, I give you your incredible...
Yes! We know each other. He's a friend from work. Oh, come on.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is my Thor Ragnarok review.
Yes!
So with all my reviews, the first half of my review, I'll give a spoiler-free talk, and the second half of my video will be spoilers. So don't worry, I will let you know when the spoilers are coming up, and there will be a warning sign right before we get into my spoiler-free review. But first up, let's talk about the basics of Thor Ragnarok. So Thor Ragnarok is the third film in the Thor trilogy, which we haven't seen a Thor movie since 2014, which was the second one, Thor: The Dark World. Now this movie is completely different than the first two, just with its tone and the character development and just the overall structure of this film. If I had to say what this film is more like, I would say that Thor Ragnarok is more like Guardians of the Galaxy and is completely different than the first two films. This film not only is action-packed, but it has lots of comedy in it. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a comedy, but it does have a lot of humor in it and all in the right places. It's serious when it needs to be serious, and it's humorous when it needs to be humorous. It's just an overall fun film. Thor, Chris Hemsworth, steals the show. His take on the character is so much different than it was in the first two films. And not only that, but it's a huge evolution from where he was at in the Avengers films. Thor seems to be more comfortable. Chris Hemsworth just seems to be in a different place with Thor in this film. Now, we have some new characters in the film, like Cate Blanchett. She is on a long list of one of the great villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And unfortunately, that list is very short because personally, I find that the villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are very weak. Although that the villain in Captain America Civil War, a lot of people didn't like him. I actually liked him as a villain. I thought it was a very different take on a villain in the franchise since he really didn't have any powers and he was sort of manipulating things behind the scenes. But this new villain I really enjoyed. I thought she was a very deep character and she definitely stole the scenes that she was in. And she was very comfortable in her spot, and she definitely was not afraid to take on Thor. Now, Loki's in this film, Tom Hiddleston, which I really like. He's one of my favorite actors now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm really surprised that they're able to get him coming back. Probably he's on a contract that he's able to return, but I really enjoy watching him as Loki. I think that he has great chemistry with Chris Hemsworth. They make a great duel. Of course, in this film, Loki has a lot of character development, and we get to see a little more of the personal side of Loki in this film. And it really adds to the character dynamic between him and Thor. You know, they are brothers after all. It was really nice to see that character development between the two of them. Loki by nature is somewhat of a devious person. He definitely gets into quite a bit of trouble in this movie. But all I can say is that Loki was awesome in this movie, and he really complemented the other characters in this film. So we can't go without talking about the Hulk.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
We've seen the trailers that he is in this film, and I will say that Hulk has his deepest character development probably out of any of the movies that have come out so far, maybe with the exception of Avengers Age of Ultron. But he really has some great character development in this film. Kevin Feige did say that they're starting out with a 3-movie arc storyline for the Hulk, starting in Thor Ragnarok. So this is sort of the beginnings of really developing his character, and then we'll get to see more as time goes on in the other movies. The Hulk is awesome in this movie. Of course, based on the trailers, we get to see that it's taking the main elements out of the Planet Hulk comic book, which is one of my favorite comics of the Hulk. Hulk is not particularly a big character for me, but there are a few storylines that I really like that the Hulk's involved in, which one is Planet Hulk and the other one is World War Hulk. And I have a feeling that we will see World War Hulk in the Avengers film, at least certain elements of it. So obviously Thor and Hulk have a battle. I will say that the battle is pretty epic. So there are a lot of supporting characters in this film. We have Tessa Thompson. She plays Valkyrie. We also have Carl Urban, Idris Elba, and Anthony Hopkins as Odin, which are great pieces to this film. Lastly, Jeff Goldblum. He basically is playing himself in this movie. He's just awesome, and he's so funny in this film. So overall, I want to give this film a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great movie, really humorous, lots of action, great story, and great characters. Huge character development with Thor, Loki, and just overall, just a joy to watch. So here's your warning, spoilers ahead.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So let's get right into it. Cate Blanchett as Thor and Loki's sister, the goddess of death. I thought she played a huge part. She was awesome in this movie. She really is one of the top villains, I think. Unfortunately, in a very small handful of villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I really enjoyed her presence in this movie, especially when she's taking out all those guards in Asgard and pretty well taking over Asgard. And just her dynamic between her and the Executioner, which is Carl Urban, and her relationship with Thor and their dynamic as well. One thing that really bothered me, which we saw in the trailers, is she destroys Thor's hammer. And I wasn't really cool with that. For his hammer to break should be something that maybe Thanos probably should have done, since Thanos is going to be, I'm assuming, the strongest villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But with that being said, it's happened, and I think that he probably will get a new hammer eventually. But it is what it is. And yeah, I just personally thought that Thanos should have destroyed his hammer. Just the humor in this film just hit on all the right spots, especially with Korg, which is played by Watiki. I think that's his name. But he was so funny in this movie. A lot of dry humor from him. He seems so innocent. He just blurts anything out. I'm really glad they brought him along. With Loki, we got to see some great character development for him. Even though that he is this villain and he is a distrustful person, that he really does care about his brother, and you know, deep down he cares, but it's just in his nature to double cross people and to be devious. And I really thought that was a great touch, that they really, you know, they bypassed his jealousy and his anger to get to that feeling that, you know, he really does care. I really loved in the battle scene where he's watching Thor and Hulk fight, and Hulk does the to Thor, and then Loki's, yeah, that's what that feels like. And you know, that was just really funny, and loved a lot of the character elements with Loki. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised that he made it to the end of this film, traveling with the Asgardians. I mean, I guess of course because, as Odin says, that Asgard is not a place, it's people. And I guess it was just right for him to be there. I really liked Valkyrie's character, part of an elite female warrior class from Asgard from the past. I really liked her character. I thought she literally was like a female Thor. I will make a note that Thor's 3 friends that he had in this film, or in the first 2 films, and we saw them briefly in this film, and they all got killed off. I thought that was the wrong choice to make. I felt that these 3 could have had a strong presence in this film. I thought they could have really lifted those 3 up. It was maybe to make room for a Valkyrie and some other characters But that was one thing that I didn't like about this film. I thought Hulk was great in this film. So he's been Hulk apparently for 2 years. Got captured and brought to the battle planet. You got to see a more sophisticated Hulk, and obviously we're going to see some more from him. So at the end of the movie, Asgard gets destroyed by the big fire guy, and obviously Hela, we don't know if she gets killed or not, but it's assuming that she did. As the Asgardians leave in that ship, they go off into space. Thor says they're going to go back to Earth, but on the way, in the extra scene at the end, they get confronted by a huge ship, and I actually think that that's Thanos' ship. So, who knows what's going to happen. Anyways, guys, that's my review of Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was a great film, full action, humor, and a great story, and great story development. So I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. This is one of Marvel's top films. Definitely in my top 5. What did you think of Thor Ragnarok? Did you think it was awesome, or it wasn't for you? Let me know in the comments below. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew K Channel, and you can find me on Facebook at Andrew K Channel. Please leave a comment below, and if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and keep it locked on the Andrew K Channel.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should drop, cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop.